Everything Wrong With or my Cinnamon Spins parody videos are supposed to be satire, meaning I can't really be a critic, or I can't really be a reviewing critic, I guess is what you would call it. I'm only allowed to be a nitpicking critic on Everything Wrong With compared to my normal standard reviews, which is why I've taken the liberty upon myself to rewatch International Super Spy and give you my actual opinion of the episode without having to worry about things to send in the episode or cliches to bitch about. It's all about my humble opinion. And let me tell you, this episode is still my favorite episode of the entire series of Backyardigans. Period. There is absolutely nothing anyone can say that's going to change my opinion of that. I love this episode. I think this episode is probably the best. Like I said, the best of the series. The best of the series. And why is that? Well, let's go and get into it. Pablo is a secret agent. His name is Agent Secret. He is being tasked with trying to stop the Lady in Pink from taking over the world or trying to do her recipe of disaster or whatever. And he needs to stop her and her evil plans of making the recipe for the disaster to perhaps take over the world. He goes all the way around the world trying to keep these containers away from Uniqua, which is the Lady in Pink, and it's pretty fun. They have a bunch of musical numbers on the way. There's a few little gags I laughed at. There's some fun just homages to everything. Cyndi Lauper does a song. She did Lady in Pink, which is probably my favorite song, once again, of the entire series. Definitely, I love that song. I hum that every now and again. It's still stuck in my fucking head. I can't get it out. But yeah, I love that song. Good and Bad Don't Mix. The International Super Spy song, of course. Just everything. It's just a homage to the entire genre of James Bond esque sort of movies and drama and fiction in general. Just great stuff. I love this episode. I love this subtle bit of foreshadowing too, because all the containers contain a bit of glass, which is a glass like cup or whatever. One of them contains a glass cup. The other contains a carton of milk, and the other one is chocolate syrup. The glass cup was inside of a glass building, and the carton of milk was inside of a farm that just so happened to have a gigantic carton of milk as the screen for the little thing. And speaking of those little, like, weird lock mechanisms for the dance thing, I don't really get that. I mean, I'm okay with it personally. It's not really too big of a gripe for me, but I would prefer something else, maybe something more creative, but it's okay, I guess, for what it is. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bring down the episode too much. It's it's still a very good episode, but it's just kind of, I've always wondered why they did that. I've always wondered why, because it just seems kind of, what's the word, filler-y sort of thing. It's not too terrible though, and it's over pretty quickly. But it happens 3 separate times, and it's kind of repetitive. But it's okay though. It's fine. Everyone's great in this episode. Everybody does their roles really well. Austin's great. Pablo's amazing. I love Pablo. He's probably the highlight of this episode for me personally. Unique was great. Unique was great as a Lady in Pink. It's beautiful. Tyrone is awesome as her henchman or whatever. I think those are great. That was some good moments between them. And I mean, everyone's great. Tasha's great. Tasha's fantastic as the whole lady who's actually in charge of all of the operations and stuff. She's great. She's fantastic. But I absolutely think that this episode's great. If I were to give it a rating, I'd probably say an 8. There's a few flaws I could see, partially the dance thing, and maybe a few things like the cliches kind of getting a little bit too crazy. Like I said, though, it's not that big of a deal. That's why it's an 8 and not like a 9. But that's totally 100% me. I still love this episode. It's still probably one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. But yeah, I'm very impressed. I didn't expect this to hold up so well. I remember watching this the very first day it came out on the premiere of Nick Jr. I remember watching it, and man, it holds up very well. I'm very happy it does. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, doing awesome. And of course, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye, everybody.